Hi, Hemangee. Thank you so much for taking out time from a busy schedule and hopping on a podcast with us. So,
Thank
can
you,
you share a
Krish.
little bit about your background and what led you to the field of HR?
Okay, thank you very much, Krish, for inviting me to this podcast. So, just to tell you about myself, so my name is Hemangee Nandivadekar, and I have come up with around 20 years of experience in HR. So, I started my journey with recruitment, and then later I moved into corporate HR. Currently, I'm currently working with my own organization, that is AMH Consulting Services, and through that, I'm currently heading a HR department for a company called Singani Education Services, which is into EdTech. My journey basically roll around the overall HR, and plus I'm a NLP practitioner as well as I'm a life coach. And with my experience in dealing with the employees, basically I believe in that we should deal with human with the human touch. So that's what I believe in, and that's what I performed during last 20 years. Yes, that's all about me.
Hmm. Okay, so as I said, for the human touch. So, with automations and AI entering HR processes, how do you maintain the human touch?
Yes. So whenever I meet the youngster, basically your generation Gen Z, they are more towards technology. But personally, I believe that technology is there to help us. But ultimately, who is working? They are human, right? So the human touch is always required because it's all about how you deal with the human emotion. You are employee, you are consultant, you are whatever category you are. But ultimately you expect that somebody talk to me with the emotion, and machine don't do that. They just give you right or wrong, but they will not understand your emotion. So I personally believe in that.
Interesting. That explains your LinkedIn bio saying bringing the human back to human resources.
Yes, yes,
That's cool.
great.
How do you think HR has evolved over the last decade?
Okay. So, as I said, last 20 years I am into HR. So, earlier it was called as basically a personal department where we were basically doing the administrative task of HR, where generally we are doing payroll or understanding about their attendance, giving them feedback. That was a major role of HR. But last whole decade, it is role around the human. As I said, always say that we are talking about the people. We are want to know what is their goal as a personal aspiration, and how as an organization we can align their personal goal with the organizational goal. That's how people will grow. And I believe last 10 years, if you see, people are moving towards that. HR is moving towards not only following the policies but working towards the employees growth overall, right?
Absolutely.
uh, they are coming into business side of HR also. Earlier HR was a cost center, but now if you see, HR is sitting in the business discussion to understand how my employees can help organization to grow, rather than taking them as a अरे ये तो expense है kind of
Mhm.
things, right? Salary जा रही है, right? But how they are helping us in grow. That's what we are moving towards.
Actually, coming to the point, like HR in education, right? How is managing HR in education driven organization like Singhania Quest Plus different from other industries?
Okay, so if you talk specifically about education,
Hmm.
then if you talk about the school per se, if you say the schools in India, edtech is totally different industry, which is more of tech enabled edtech per se. But if you talk about the schools also, where the education is primary giving to the student, HR also valued over there, because ultimately when we say teachers, even they need a help. They are front ending towards the student, but at the back end they are also employee of a certain schools, right? So HR is helping them. Again, I'll come on to that point where they are aligning their individual goal with the school's goal, right? What they want to achieve as an individual, how they can do certain trainings where they can develop as a better teacher. They can grow into their own field from the expert of that particular subject to the overall how they can manage the schools. So that's a school part. If we talk about the edtech, as I said, edtech is a technological driven. So it is as good as any corporate organization, but the product is education, right? But we are normal corporate as any other software company. If you talk about, we are same. Only the product is our education, and the essence is that we deal with teacher. So again, here the human touch comes in, right? You will always see, "Yeah, I'm talking about human, human again and again," but that's what I completely believe in.
Hmm. So how do you like retain employees effectively without within an educational context without making them feel trapped?
Uh, Retention again, it is same as a normal employee, where if any employee has been feel valued by their organization, ultimately what any person need is that they are adding any value to organization, and they are being valued into the organization. Whatever they are doing, we are recognizing them, we are seeing their efforts has been valued, we are giving them opportunity to learn as well as grow into the same organization, as well as when they are been providing different kind of trainings to develop themselves, there are ample of opportunities available for them into the market. So we are not risking that, we don't feel that if we train them they will go out. No, if we train them, we're enabling them to perform better for themselves. And again, it is being the selfish, it will help my organization ultimately, because enabler can bring more value to the organization rather than the person who's always scared,
Mhm.
right? So that's how retaining is always work.
Does the culture thing, play a very significant role while doing so?
Yes. Yes. Um, it is commonly been talked about, HR build the culture into the organization, right?
Mhm.
You must have always heard this in different forums. But my personal belief is culture is top to down approach. Culture start with the CEO or the CEO's table, and then it has been driven down to the organization. So, culture need to be built by everybody. Basically, all the leaders in the organization need to build up this culture and retain that, maintain that, and involve all other employee into that culture building. It is not one person task. HR is following the culture, or HR is making sure that culture is being followed. No, it is the everybody's task, and then only the culture will be built. You take any big organization who's performing great, it is their people believe in the culture and then they are performing, then only they will be successful, otherwise no.
Okay, I think in your decisions, you have focused on elevating HR as a strategic partner and aligning people practices with broader business goals. Yet, recruiting top talent was a prominent theme. So, in your experience, has recruiting become a streamlined routine process in your organization, or do you still face challenges in attracting and selecting the right candidate, especially when emphasizing that it's a edtech thing, where like teachers, it's like teachers are the soul and everything of the organizations, I believe.
Yes. um, so again, I will say that when we take recruitment as a one job into a HR for a role, then it's become very difficult. Okay, recruitment has become natural when you already built up the company culture, when people know you into the market, that yes, if you go to this organization, the culture is good, we will be valued, we will be given opportunity, and then it's become very easy to attract talent then, right? Attracting talents become difficult when there is see, what I believe personally is your employees and your ex-employees are the brand ambassador of your organization, and when they talk good about it, this word easily spread into the market. And edtech is such a small industry right now, okay, that people know each other,
Hmm.
right? So me per se, I don't see that recruitment is a challenge specifically on the educationist vertical, because people would love to come to organization where they have been valued again, right? Yes, there are certain verticals, any industry that you go is very difficult, and which is again monotonous, is sales, right? You take any organizations, whichever industry they are, sales is something which is going on and on and on and on. So apart from that, I don't see, recruitment can be a challenge to a company who believe in their employees and who work for their
Hmm.
employees.
So you highly believe in organic marketing and word of mouth. You think
Yes,
that's
yes, I personally believe in that. They are my brand ambassador, and if they talk good, I don't have to go anywhere else.
mm, cool. And I also believe you're a posh practitioner and implementer. And
Yes,
posh, our audiences might be confused. It's uh, prevention of sexual harassment within the workplace culture.
correct.
So, what are the biggest challenges companies face in ensuring a safe workplace?
So again, most of the organization, what happens is they take this posh as a threat. Okay,
Mm,
that if we train people on posh, what if they will take us wrong? Or if you educate female, what if they, take the advantage out of this policy, right? Posh is a neutral gender. Okay, it is not what I personally believe in. It should be for both the genders, not or all the genders. I personally believe in DEI, so all the genders. Okay, wherein a person, whosoever that gender could be, should feel safe to come to the office, should feel safe to talk to anybody into the organization. Okay, that's where the enabler comes in part. It is not a policy to be scared of, or the male people should not feel male should not feel that I should not be talking to female, or I should not be talking to the female XYZ way kind of things. Because currently we are dealing with the generation Z, generation millennium. They are just beyond the gender bias. They are equal. So we, as an enabler, we need to make sure that everybody feel secured while talking openly, while dealing with them, while going out, etc. And that's where we are creating the safe work zone. That anybody come to my organization for an interview also, it is my responsibility to make sure that they are feel safe into the
mm.
organization. Or my any female or male employee going outside for my work, they should feel that yes, company is taking care of them. That's where we're building that posh environment.
Have you faced any resistance while implementing posh policies, and like how do you handle it?
So in my experience, whatever experience I have, when we go with the confidence and we talk to the employees with the confidence, they build a confidence in us. Okay, kuch bhi ho jayega, my HR will look into it in a safe way. So I have not experienced as such, but I heard many companies face this, where either side of it, as I said earlier, male are scared to talk to people, that they will talk only under the camera. That okay, I'm beside you with the two hands distance. Or female generally see that okay, if I'm not given the opportunity, how can I use this for my self? So it is up to the company. Again, I will talk about the culture, that how you are building the culture. That's what matter most.
Look, we're fed up of platforms like Apna and Naukri, getting 500 applicants where only one or two are actually good. Or even if you were to go about sourcing candidates from their database, for even slight of a niche role, I bet you'll struggle to get even 5 relevant profiles. Now there are only two types of candidates, active and passive. Active candidates are those who are actively searching for a job, but the real opportunities, the real gems, lies with these passive candidates. These are the people who are happily working at their current company and excelling at their roles, who are not actively looking for a new roles, but if someone were to approach them with a compelling offer, they'd be interested to hear more on it. In fact, about 70% of the job market isn't even looking for a job. And to source these candidates, platforms like Naukri, Apna, and Indeed, all these job platforms, all these job portals, they rely on inbound sourcing, where me as an active candidate applies on their goes onto their website, makes a profile, and uploads their resume, CVs on there. But unfortunately, that won't give me the excess of 70% of the job market. So how do we tap into this massive untapped talent pool? And that's where Recruva came in. I recently started the free trial and it had been a game changer for me. And let me show you why. So the first step involves going onto LinkedIn and searching for a job role you're interested in. Say for example a particular type of people in your industry. Let's search for a Java developer, and that should help me narrow it down by location, function, etc. Delhi. This narrowed it down to 6,000 people in New Delhi. I can just copy paste this link, head back over to my website, click on contacts, import this, as this is a basic search import, and just create an import. Once it's completely done, we go to the automations. We'll set up an automation sequence that reads out to candidates automatically. For example, you can configure a message like, "Hi, we are a hunt on a senior Java developer and Spring Boot developer in Delhi with team lead experience. Saw your LinkedIn profile, thought you might be a good fit. Let me know if you'd be open to a new opportunity." We can frame messages like this. Our system will start reaching out to these candidates on all background automatically. You can see all the responses from all these potential candidates over here. And if you're an HR professional watching this, your boss will be impressed too by how much you are cutting down the cost, the hiring time, and getting high quality candidates who are really interested in joining your company. All you have to do is click the link in the description, sign up for a 7 days free trial, and see the benefits yourself. There's no risk, just a smarter, faster way to hire. Has there any like real life examples that you have personally implemented that significantly boosted it or made some major changes into it?
Uh, as an not in the organization, but as a I am also a external member. So in some of my experience, I've experienced that sometimes it happens that people take, again I'm saying, being female I should not be saying this, but yeah, I'm openly saying sometimes female try to take the advantage out of it, and where we as an educator, we know the policy, okay, we need to educate them, okay? It doesn't work that way,
Hmm.
okay? We are open culture people. We follow, when we go out with the friend, male friend, do you behave like this? No, right? You expect that, okay, I can meet him, I can hug him, I can do that, right? But when it is happening in the office, okay, why you are keeping that in your mind that, okay, it is maybe wrong and kind of things, right? If it is necessary, I'm again saying, it is empowering the female. If it is necessary, you're all right to come and talk about it. But unnecessarily, just to make a ruckus out of it, don't use this policy. It is not good, because it is completely damage that person's life, the male's life. So you need to be little careful what we talk, where we talk, and what we are talking, specifically from the female front.
Hmm.
So that's why I say it is neutral gender should be.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you share an experience where you had to make a difficult decision as an HR leader and how did you navigate it?
In terms of a what?
As your role in maybe in Singhania Quest?
Okay. So not Singhania. I will talk about my previous experience, because now we are uh, basically open up for HR to come into the board meetings. Okay. But when I talk about my earlier experience, where, as I said, HR was always on the side of expenses, liabilities, because we tend to spend more monies on salaries or the blah 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 thing. So as a leader during that time, we, as in I could say personally, we had to take a stand that until and unless we as an HR get involved into the in the business discussion, the company will not grow, because we
Hmm.
know what is the investment required for an employee's side of it, what is the investment is required from the training point of view, and if this investment will be done, then and then only the company has a chance to grow, right? So as a leader, I believe sometimes we need to take a tough decisions. We need to be very vocal during the leadership meeting and stand for us, that yes, we need to be there. And I believe that worked for me in my previous organization. And then since then, I sit in the business meeting also. When any new projects comes in, VHR talk about it, that what is the cost required, do we really need this many number of people, if we train our people, can we promote these people, we are saving what, we are investing what, that kind of discussion is required.
Hmm. And like, have you ever had a challenge leadership decision to protect employees?
Yeah, 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 many times.
How did you handle that?
Okay,
Give us
again, being the employee advocate, as I said, human touch, being the employee advocate, We need to know what is fair. And
Mm.
if it is fair, it is the HR responsibility to stand for it. We cannot be scapegoat कि चलो management बोल रहा है तो it is right. No. If management is saying yes, this is need to be done, and we differ because of we have a valid reason for this, we need to stand for it. And then
Mhm.
it doesn't matter whether then it's my job is going or no, I don't care because I believe in the firmness that we should be doing it. And then people respect ultimately. See, everybody is human again. If you put it firmly with the evidence, then people follow it, what I believe. And it happened.
As said, and I think HR is often seen as a
Yes.
support function, right? But you believe in driving business performance through people. Can
Yes.
you share a strategy that made a measurable business impact?
Uh, okay. Take an example. Any organization, as you rightly said, we are moving towards AI, so the technology will override the functions, right? But you take any example, you pick up any companies, right? Who are driving this AI? Whose brain it is?
It's a
Somebody's
human brain.
putting that language into the system, right? And that
Absolutely.
is a person. Machine को train नहीं कर रही है ना, right? So when we talk about people or driving people into the organization,
Yes.
uh, as a leader, it is again I'm repeating, it is our responsibility to stand for it. And it has happened earlier also that sometimes the leadership feel that this person or this department is not required. Okay, can we minimize the head count, or can we add technology in it to reduce it? At one point in time, it is good because the monotonous task, even I've implemented HRMS in my HR system because it takes most of my repetitive task, monotonous task, which is time consuming. Rather, I will have my team more involved into talking to people, understanding them, what they need, how we can improve them. Okay. Similarly, I believe technology and human had to go hand in hand. Where it is valued for the human, we need to bring them up. And where there is monotonous task, I believe we should bring in technology. That's where the most of the chat boxes are coming in, right? Why? It is saving their time, but it's not taking the jobs.
Mm.
So how effectively you can, it's like marrying between the technology and the person. It's something like that and live happily.
What advice would you give to young professionals aspiring to be CHROs?
Okay, CHRO is a far path. What I believe in, what I'll advise to young people is whenever you enter HR, okay, I don't know whether you heard this, most of the taglines. HR is the tough job which look easy, right? HR keep doing rangolis, right? Okay, I'll share my experience. Being into HR for such a long time, I used to interview people to hire in my team for different teams. Most of the time, funny answer used to come. Why you want to come in HR? The answer is I love talking to people. I am people person. Okay. So when people come with the wrong expectations into HR, you know, they tend to fail, right?
What's a true definition of HR for you? How do you
HR
define
is,
it?
as I said earlier, it is human touch is required with a strong empathy. Whenever you enter HR field, you should have empathy. I'm not talking about sympathy. You should have empathy, and along with that, you should have a business sense because you should able to validate between what will bring. Because if the organization itself is not there, what you will do with the people around you? So until there is a profit generation happening into the organization, people is not required. So any HR nowadays or in the future who are coming in, they should have a sense of empathy as well as a business, both. And if they have both, they will succeed. If they only come up with the empathy, nahi, मैं तो एक people person हूँ, I will talk only good about people, they will drastically fail. because they will not understand the business. Or if somebody comes with the total business mindset, "Nahi, I want to focus only business, I will only support my leaders and do as per they say," again they will fail because their people will not value them. They will feel
Hmm.
contrast.
That reminds me, like, why do you think that this HR professional is so dominated by women?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's a very good question, because history talk about it that women dominate HR, because we feel that woman has a very natural empathy as a skill. Okay, we can relate with, when I say we, of course, women relate with the other human very well. Okay, since ages, HR used to feel as in motherly until that business approach was there. So as I talking about since the ages, actually, earlier when there was a personal department in the manufacturing industry, there were a male HR were there. If you see the history, but since the corporate started, the IT industry started, we are started talking about HR should be caring, HR should understand the human feeling, and who does better than woman? This all
Hmm.
things, right? And of course, making rangolis, who does better than woman? Right? So that's how the trend started. But as I said, now the trend is changing. Many male candidates also coming in, because as I said, if the combination is good with the empathy plus the business knowledge and the technology effort, I believe anybody can succeed. So women specifically because of the empathy nature, caring nature, they can talk very nicely, they understand the other side of it.
Hmm.
That's where I believe HR, women were empowering HR more.
That's very interesting insight. Yeah. So coming back to the questions, like again, what advice would you exactly want to give to young professionals who are actually like looking up to being a CHROs, or like being in like senior positions as a HR?
Yeah. So always the start happens with the dealing with the employees, or basically doing the certain projects nowadays. If you really talk about the candidates coming from the A class institute, okay, generally they start with the leadership role immediately. Okay. Um, when they start with the role immediately, they basically start with the projects. Like, I want to complete this X project. Okay, they success in that project because they have their projects done already into their curriculum. Okay, but if really want to become the CHRO level, I believe they need to come at the ground level where they are dealing with employees, talking to them, understanding what is the need of that organization and their employees in that particular organization. Because it's differ from organization to organization, it's differ from person to person, team to team. Okay, so if anybody wants to grow, the business knowledge definitely, and the, again I'm repeating, the human touch is required.
That's interesting. You're also a happiness coach.
Oh yes. So it happened accidentally.
Okay.
So it happened that I was at the peak of my career, heading the Asia Pacific in Manila, and I was diagnosed with cancer that time. Okay, and you can understand, at the peak, and suddenly you are downfall completely with the multiple organs failure, malignancy. That time somebody helped me with the NLP, because majorly during the cancer journey, what required is the patience, believe in yourself, and that, go to fighting nature. And when, specifically during the chemo, when there is a lot of pain that happens with you,
Mhm.
you tend to give up. It happens. You tend to give up कि नहीं झेलना है अभी. That time NLP came in my life with the change complete outlook of me. And I started believing that you don't have to look for happiness outside. It is not into the medicine, it is not into the work that you do. Okay? It into the small, small things that you do daily. It is within you. And how
Mm.
you can bring that happiness out, it is up to you. And I found that magic that, whatever happens, okay, you can create your own happiness. That's how I felt that, I learned about happiness coach. I started doing the courses, and I felt that with my experience, I can help people, specifically people dealing with the cancer, not only for themselves, for their family, because cancer is the journey of a family, not as an individual. And now, after 5 years, last year again, I gone into another cancer journey with few more organs, and it was over in August, September, and my chemos are still going on. But that's why this gap, sorry. But I don't feel I am demotivated. I don't feel that I'm lacking something. Then 1 year is lapse. Okay, that's fine. I'm coming back. I can do things. I can add value. Until my life is not end, I am keeping and adding value in my life. And that's my motto. And that's why I started doing the happiness coach journey. I'm meeting people, I'm motivating people, I'm talking to them, and it's give me happiness, and I'm distributing happiness to other people.
That's amazing.
So that's how this.
Do you think happiness should be an HR's KPI? Why? Why or not? Like,
Why not? So again, happiness is not only okay, I'm enjoying. Happiness is feeling proud of yourself. Happiness is adding value to other. Happiness is that uh, what I'm doing, I'm loving it. Whatever small things. Now it could be my a simple data entry operator to my
mm,
CEO. Everybody is adding certain value into their own life and into the organization and into the society. So now you feel that, अरे मैं तो कुछ कर रहा हूँ. Everything change. That demotivation suddenly become, I'm valuable, right?
mm.
That shift is required, and that NLP helped me a lot in that, and
As
meditation.
a happiness, okay. You practice meditation every single day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Why do you see the glow on my face?
Makes sense. Okay. As a happiness coach, what are the most common workplace stressors you see today?
Um, so again, in today's world, what I can see is the pressure that people take unnecessary.
Mm,
Okay, the stigma of until I am been reaching to that level at certain age, I am not successful. Unnecessary stress, right? So at workplace, when we work on the happiness within the individual, okay, that stress releases to prove something. Whom you are proving? किसको बताना है,
mm,
right? My promotion happened, not happened, whether I'm there, not there, comparison between each other. The competition has to be there, but not the comparison. When you start comparing, no, you get into stress. And then whole the circle of मुझसे क्या कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, I'm useless and I'm do and that all things happens. And then happiness comes down. And then once you are sad, you make your whole family sad. Because your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your mother, right? What you take home? The same sad face, right?
mm.
And the energy flows to the other person. So that one smile can change whole family. And I've experienced that for myself.
That's amazing. Have you ever worked in like a toxic workplace? If so, like how did you handle it?
Oh yeah, yes, yes. At the start of my career, my God. And that time I was not, of course, mentally that prepared. And being the youngster, your boss is specifically pressurizing you, giving you those words, kind of things. You generally feel demotivated. You generally feel, yeah, I don't want to work. And then the
Mm,
quitting starts from there. And then that new job search, again the same story happens. So at the start I felt that this is not the place for me. I should be I don't deserve this, so I should be leaving. And I quit a couple of jobs also earlier. But then later on, since I started my HR journey, I've started talking to people. I felt that it's not necessary. Everything should not be taken to heart, right? If I know that I'm doing good, I should have a capability to communicate that to my boss that don't worry, I'm doing good. If you feel so, it's okay. But I will not take to my heart and feel demotivated. Either I may leave a job, that's okay. But with the same zeal, I will go and search the another job. But the toxic boss need to learn, and they learn. I'm telling you, they learn with the mistake because nobody stay with them, and you take the same toxicity at your place also, at your home also, and the relationship doesn't work. So ultimately, it's how you live your life, right? Everybody has their own life, and they live like that. Choice is yours.
Well, that's a ton of value. Let's play like a rapid fire question round, if you're right.
Okay,
And before, like, we could wrap it up.
sure.
That would be a fun, engaging answer. So, what's the best leadership advice you ever received?
Best leadership advice that I've ever received. Um, is okay, it's the wrong advice but I've ever received was don't think about people, think about self, be selfish. I didn't follow that though.
What's the best one?
Hmm?
What's the best one?
What the best one is, believe in yourself, but you'll grow only you'll work with people. That is my ex to ex boss told me,
Mm.
and that's work for me.
A book every HR professional should read.
There are many.
What if there were like one to two
It's
books?
not about
I
HR professional but it's
think
about human. I'm personal fan of The Secret
Secret by.
book.
Secret by. What's the author name? Do you remember?
Remember the author name, but
That's it. One thing HR professionals should immediately stop doing.
stop doing.
Yeah, like something they're doing absolutely wrong.
Uh, I believe taking the interviews in a mechanical way, tick marking. ये है skill, ये है skill, ये है skill, ये है skill. No, they should not be like that. It's a two-way round. They are interviewing you, you are interviewing them. It's a relationship building, not tick marking.
If you could ever switch careers for a day, what would you do?
What will I do apart from HR? Oh my God,
Apart from that,
I can't think of it. Um, Maybe a writer, poet.
you write,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
write.
poems.
One misconception about HR you wish people would stop believing.
Misconception about HR, people should stop believing. At the question said that HR is a female's job.
Mm. Okay. And if you had to describe your leadership style in one word, what would it be?
Empowering others and then get empowered.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's just all the questions that we had.
Okay,
So,
great.
before we could wrap it up, is there anything you'd like to leave our audience with? Perhaps a final thought of or piece of advice for HR professionals, business leaders, or anyone looking to create a people first culture?
Okay. So, not about HR, but okay, I'll share my personal experiences. The world is beautiful. Okay. Believe in yourself, work for yourself, and don't stress out much. Life is not there to stress out, life is there to enjoy. So, whichever field you are, if you start enjoying what you do, you will be successful within. I believe that's the
Mhm.
only thing what I believe in.
Wow. Again, this was like a truly meaningful conversation that we had. And if anything, I'd love to have you come as a guest again in the near future and potentially share some of the more experiences with us.
Definitely,
I
I
think,
will. I would
yeah,
love
I
to.
think our audience has some great insights to leave with.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It was a great talking to you.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time, actually.
All the very best to your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.